Hey, Doug Walker here with Churchill Mortgage, and I just wanted to show you that yes, you can buy a home in Williamson County for as little as $10,000 down. And the first question you might have is, hey, are there really homes in Williamson County that I can buy for $10,000 down that I would want? The answer is yes. There's several to choose from just in that one little price range. But the main thing is you need to know how you go about doing it. Where's the reality of that? And many people think when they think of Williamson County that, oh, you're just going to need a bucket load of money because the home prices are so expensive and it just costs so much. Well, that would be the case if you're trying to buy a little mansion or something. But if you're just trying to get into your first home, or if you've got a move-up home and you're just trying to maybe get into the schools of Williamson County and you just want to get started, there are definitely homes that you can buy that can get you there. But first, let's take a look at the way we would do that. What you're looking at here is a quick little spreadsheet that I created that works like a calculator, but mainly it shows you that when you can and when you can't qualify for this 3% down program that would allow you to get into Williamson County for $10,000 down. Now this particular program price range is going to be about $330,000, maybe $335,000 or so. And we'll look at some homes that are actually in that price range here in Williamson County. And there's an income restriction. You can't make more than about $80,000 a month as far as the number of the borrowers that will be on the loan, so you want to keep that in mind. You want to plug that number here as far as a monthly income. And then when it comes to all non-housing monthly payments, you want to add that number here, and you don't want it to exceed about $400 per month, because the higher it is, the more it's going to affect your debt to income ratio that's used to qualify you for a loan program. So they want to make sure that the debt that you have, including the new mortgage payment, isn't outside of the guidelines as far as the payments go. And then of course, down here is where you put in a selection for how you would say your credit is. Good or excellent, okay, bad, or you just don't have any idea. Here's the down payment you need for the 3% program right there, $9,900. If you had a $335,000 home, so we're staying in that $10,000 range, but let's take her back to $330,000. And you'll see that income qualification is good based on the income you put here and the non-housing monthly payments. So those are things like if you got a car payment, if you've got any other sort of payments that are actually appearing on a credit report and your credit's in good shape. If your credit's not in good shape, that's where we just really need to get together, come up with a plan and a strategy to get it in much better shape. It's not that hard to do, it just depends on your situation. But as we change things in here, let's say that your income is actually higher than this and it was $7,500 per month. Well, for this particular program, you're going to be ineligible because that income is outside of the guideline restriction for this 3% program. However, if you went to the 3.5 down program, you're still in good shape. There's no real income restriction over here, and you're only talking about $11,550 as far as your down payment here. So this is a pretty easy calculator to figure out. You just want to get back in here, you want to plug in income, plug in housing, monthly payments, and in your credit, and it'll just help you get a good idea of what you can do. Now let's find out if there are actually homes in Williamson County you could buy that are around the $300,000 price range. All right, I'm just going to hop over here to homes.com and I'm going to put in Williamson County and boom, pick her up there. Now I'm going to put in price. Let's do $335,000 just in case you can negotiate a little bit. Done. Let's change these filters to be that we want a house, townhome, condo, and we'll just leave it at that. So it showed that there were 11 homes. So we've got, here's a 2,200 square foot home in Fairview, Williamson County, Spring Hill for $325,000, looks like a condo. We've got another home in Fairview, another home in Brentwood, that one's going to be a condo. And if you got Thompson Station, Franklin, so Spring Hill, Fairview. So there's several homes on here. You can see on the map over here to the right where they're located at. So you can get into Williamson County at that price point. It just depends on whether this house is the type of house that you want and that you're looking for. or you can go up in price range and we can work with the different programs. I just wanted to make sure that you knew that $10,000 down does buy you in Williamson County, and all of these properties actually go up in value. That's what they've been doing for years. They've been going up in value. And when we're discussing home values, let's take a look at the data to see what home values have done over the many years, just so you can understand what is the real information, the real data behind questions like, will home prices go up? Will the home that you buy actually be a good investment, a good financial investment? So let's take a look at the data. What you're looking at is a chart called the Case-Shiller U.S. National Home Price Index, and it's on the St. Louis Federal Reserve's website. So it's showing you that home price appreciation starting way back in 1987, all the way up to about August or September of 2023 this year. So as you're looking at this, it's pretty clear to see what home prices do. They go up, 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 and especially once we cross 2000, it's just been a run up, except for right here in the Great Recession, which was a mortgage meltdown issue that was an elongated recession. It was very unusual, but here's what we're looking at. Home prices have been going up, up, up. Took a little breather at the very, very top in June 2022, a little move back down, and boom, they started up again. Now, do we think home prices are going to continue up? Well, let's forget about what we think. Let's see what the analysts out there say that do this professionally. Black Knight is a huge data company that provides information to financial organizations. And the other company you're going to see here is CoreLogic. They provide the same thing, they just do it in different ways. And Black Knight says for the second month in a row, home price growth trended higher in every one of the 50 largest U.S. markets. And they see a sharp re-acceleration in the national level. CoreLogic says that home prices are still expected to re-accelerate and reach, are you ready for it? Mid-single digit growth by the end of the year. Mid-single digit. What does that really mean? Well, mid-single digits would be in the middle between 1 and 9. So 4% to 6%. Now just keep that in mind, because we're going to look at an appreciation calculator here in just a minute to see just how that affects you. Now what else do we want to see here? When you're thinking about buying a home, you also want to know what's going to be your competition in the marketplace. Because in 2021, it got crazy. There were offers that were coming in sometimes 30, 50, 100,000 over the asking price. We had cases where $150,000 over the asking price was offered for homes, and they were just being snapped up. Why? Very simple economics. And that's when there's high demand and low supply, whatever's available on the market goes up in value, and people tend to jump at it and pay higher than what you assume you would to get for it. And right now, this is a 2023 article published by Redfin. The demand is outpacing the limited supply. Markets feel hot despite few sales. Well, if it feels like there aren't enough homes on the market for the people who want to buy one, it's because there aren't enough homes in the pool that's available. Well, all right, so that tells us what we kind of already know if you're listening to the news or you've been paying attention to anything in regards to looking at homes, and that's that there is a ton of demand and there's just not that much supply. But hopefully we got some home builders that are going to come to the rescue. So let's take a look and see what they're going to do. Fannie Mae is the largest servicer of mortgage loans in the United States. Servicer is probably the wrong word. Securitizer, but that's too much to get into right now. It's a government-backed entity, but this is their housing forecast from home builders that they surveyed. Total housing starts that you see in 2022, 2023, and 2024, these are the projections. What you want to see is over here in this summary, because in 2022, they built 3% fewer homes than they built in 2021. Well, that's kind of weird, but in 2023, with that huge demand that we had this year, they built 11.7% fewer homes. And the home builders aren't building enough homes to even keep up with the demand, and they're dropping off. And then in 2024, what is most important to us, they're going to build even fewer homes than they did in 2023. So we are still going to have a huge problem with the demand for housing versus the amount of people that want it. But what has kept people on the sidelines? Well, mortgage rates were the biggest factor, because mortgage rates went up at least double and then even touched 8%. And now they're starting to already come back down. So this is the mortgage forecast for the three major entities out there in the financial mortgage housing world. You've got Fannie Mae, the juggernaut, you've got the Mortgage Bankers Association, and then you have the National Association of Realtors. All three of their projections for fourth quarter of 2023, their estimate is that mortgage rates are going down to about 7.4, let's just call it 7.5. Well, that's good news, because right now in the fourth quarter of 2023, mid-November when I'm recording this, the interest rates are actually right around 7.5 to 7.625, which is great. And then they're looking at the first quarter of 2024, we see the rates ticking down precipitously, and it's at least about a 1% drop that they're looking to happen by the end of 2024. Now that's being really conservative. So all the best data we can get from analysts, home builders, Fannie Mae, Mortgage Bankers Association, and all the people that are crushing the numbers out there is that we're looking at the trend in housing, which we're seeing is a perfect storm that's happening in 2024. We've got huge demand out here. We've got home builders who aren't really going to be building much more, so we have even less supply out here for the huge demand that's there. And we've got interest rates, which were holding people back, that are actually going to start getting better, which is good news, except here's why you may want to think about moving a little quicker if you're thinking about buying a home, and that is that when those mortgage rates come down, there's going to be a bunch of people who finally get off the sidelines and start rushing after the few homes that are there. Now that's probably going to create the same thing we saw in 2020 and 2021, which was a huge bidding war of prices for the homes that are actually available, where they were just bid way, way up. The thing is they've remained at that value, and they continue to look like they're going to keep going that way. So with that in mind, let's look at something that might help you in regards to the financial investment that you're making inside of a home. If that's important to you, which it's important to most people, let's take a look and see, what do the price appreciation ratios mean for you when you do buy a home? So we're going back to that little Excel spreadsheet, but we've just updated it a little bit for the profit model. So here's your $330,000 purchase price. If you make about $80,000 or less, you'd qualify for the 3% down program we're talking about. Now watch this. This is just amazing. If you invest $9,900 as a down payment to buy a home, and you get, remember they said mid-single digit appreciation rate. So let's just use the low side of 4%, which is pretty much the low side we see happening in the Davidson, Williamson County area, just all around Nashville area of Middle Tennessee. A 4% appreciation rate. Remember, that applies to the purchase price. That's not the return on your down payment money. So what happens is 4% starts to gallop up to $343,000, $357,000, $371,000, $386,000. So basically, by the fifth year, you've got $401,000 property. So that's an increase of $71,500. That means your $9,900 investment has now given you about a 33% gain every single year. Now there's no way you're going to achieve that in a stock market or any other investment I know of, but to be fair, you are making a house payment that's probably more than your rent. So to be fair, you need to subtract whatever you're paying in your house payment over and above the normal rent to figure out the true net return. And then if we look at the 6% appreciation rate, now this is where things get crazy. A 6% appreciation rate on homes for the next 5 years, your same home would be worth $441,614-ish, give or take. That's a $111,614 increase, or get ready for this, that equates to about 100% gain every single year, if not a little bit more. Now that's insane, but that's just the power of using the leverage of a low down payment and factoring in the appreciation rate that's applied to the purchase price of the home. So it's just amazing the investment of a house and what it'll do for you as far as wealth building for your family. But let's face a very important fact. The reality is people don't buy homes primarily for the good investment that they'll be. Not primarily to see that they would get a return year after year on this investment of their home. People normally buy homes because they have completely different reasons that sometimes can't be financially tangible. You can't really put a price on it. Like they want to get away from living in an apartment, sharing this wall or all the walls and the ceiling with other neighbors and having to worry about how loud you play your music or things that you might do and be running around your home and making too much noise, or the fact that you maybe want a yard. You want to go out and have a deck. You want to invite people over and have some space. You want some sprawl. I remember when I bought my first 3 homes. The first home we ever bought, I had no consideration at all about how much it would go up in value. We knew we wanted a home, and then we looked and found the one that had the things we wanted, a little deck, some yard. That was perfect. That's what we wanted. And if it went up in value, that was going to be great. But it was a secondary concern. Second home, we just wanted more space. We had kids that were coming and we were going to have starting a family, so we needed a bigger house. And sometimes people move because they want the neighborhoods or they want the school systems. And then you've got things where you move to where you need more space. You want to just get out on land. And there's all kinds of different reasons, but it's normally not the financial element. So I would encourage you, if you have good reasons to buy a home, and the reason that you're not looking to get into a home is because you're not sure if it'll go up in value, think back to the chart that we showed. You can rewind that back. Homes go up in value, they just do, but don't make that your primary concern. Make the other things your primary concern, which is, can I afford the home now? Am I in good financial shape? And all of the reasons why you want a home. Those are the things that you want to look at. And then look into the marketplace and let's find that home that's going to meet those needs. Because there are so many things that override the investment portion of a home. So what I'd like to do is help you put together a good strategy, a plan that will help you to be a confident buyer and have peace of mind when you decide to go into the marketplace and buy that home that you really wanted. And you can use the tools that you've seen here. You can use them and run scenarios, all that you want. And then as we work together, we'll make sure that we're putting together a solid plan, get you pre-approved, pre-qualified, actually go way past that with the underwriter, and I can get you completely certified as a certified home buyer. We have a Home Buyer's Edge program where we can even secure your interest rate, and to help the sellers when you make an offer, we have up to a $10,000 seller guarantee if for some reason you didn't go through on the home and it has anything to do on our side. So it's just great for when you put that into the contract, sellers know that there's a $10,000 guarantee that you're going to buy this home. So there are many ways to get in contact with me that you can see below here, and I look forward to speaking with you very soon. Bye-bye.